Hey,
Hey there.
this is Russell Gong, and this channel is going to have some interviews on it with the people who participated in the music that's been done and some of the compositions that you've seen. So, as promised, this is an interview with my buddy Russell Gong and Rusty, some call him. And so welcome, Russ, to our channel, Lucid Frontier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to myself. Yes, thank you.
And I just want to ask you, like, who were your influences? Where did your interest in music start, and how did you get into like music and so on and so forth?
Well, music's been with me all my life, right? I mean, I wasn't from a musical family, but I had siblings. Well, even my dad and my mom were into music, but they were into their Chinese music, if you will, right?
Right.
You know. So, anyways, so it's always been around, right? There's always been my mom's Chinese opera, which is very percussive and noisy.
Right.
Yeah. And my dad, he was more into. He never played a lot of music, but he was more into. He told me, he divulged this to me one time, Hawaiian music.
Get out.
No, I'm not kidding you.
I never knew that.
Yeah, now you know. And my oldest sister, she grew up during the Bobby Darin kind of Fabian kind of beach blanket bingo era. So
Right.
she had a lot of those kinds of 45s and music, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, so like, you know, I think my first influence with regards to like pop was that kind of stuff. But with
Right.
regards to rock music, it's probably her Beatles 45s, you know.
Really?
She loves you, yeah, Hard Day's Night, all that stuff, right? You know. And then my next oldest sister, she was from the hippie era, so like I wasn't really into that Peter, Paul and Mary stuff like that, but I mean like, there was some pretty good music back then that she had.
Oh, for sure.
And my sister was the second sister, the hippie sister. She was into a lot of different music, and we used to listen to, in her bedroom, me and my friends, we used to listen to a lot of obscure rock music on these really obscure FM stations
Right.
that were around back then.
What hit you? What sort of sparked your interest?
You know, back then there was like a whole bunch of stuff, like 10 years after. I mean, like, when I was like in grade 7 or 8 or whatever it is, like I fancied myself going to Woodstock, you know what I mean? What did I like about Woodstock? Wow, I mean, Hendrix was cool, The Who was awesome, Joe Cocker was really great, you know what I mean? So I guess it was more the harder music, the harder rock music, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I had a lot of musical influences, and but really, it was when I started expanding my own horizons by my own 45s, which were popular music, Creedence Clearwater, Tommy James and the Shondells, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
But it was Led Zeppelin's Whole Lot of Love. Now that was it. That was what changed
What happened?
it.
What happened?
It was the guitar. It was the I guess the hard rock distorted guitar that really got me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was hard rock distorted guitar before that, like the Kinks and stuff like that, but that didn't really move me. I mean, like the power chords in when the Who were playing at Woodstock, like that got me.
Right.
But what really changed it was Led Zeppelin. Was that song Whole Lot of Love, playing on AM radio of all things, right? It was their single, right?
Yeah, people wouldn't believe that nowadays.
Yeah, and it was awesome. That's what changed me, right? I mean, and I remember, Van Halen, that changed me, kind of thing. Listening to him, some of his guitar was really, I mean, that whole Eruption guitar solo, I had no idea what to make of that. Was that a synthesizer? I don't know. I didn't know about two-handed hammering, which was what he was doing. I know that now.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is those were my influences. I have some major influences with regards to my playing, right?
Yeah.
One of the most major influences was probably, and it stems from like me liking hard rock and heavy metal. Of course I like Black Sabbath and stuff, right? But the band I really got into, mainly because the guitar player, was UFO.
Right.
And the lead guitar player's name was Michael Schenker, and that guy had something that just connected with me, right? And it kind of started my love and my affair with European bands, you know, and I'm talking like obviously Black Sabbath, but also Judas Priest, Scorpions, right? They all had that kind of Euro sound that just wasn't the same as, you know, and you know, the Americans had some great bands too, right? But it just wasn't the same, right?
Right.
The Euro type bands really hit a familiar chord with me, and I loved it, right?
What was it about Schenker that caught you?
Oh, he had an amazing vibrato.
Right.
He had a great
Agreed.
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked his phrasing. I mean, he was a very stock player, and that's probably was one of the biggest appeals to me, right? You know, he wasn't really into tricks and stuff like that, but he had great technique. You know, the guy could double pick like nothing, and that kind of technique takes work, right? Kind of thing, right? And I had a lot of respect for him,
Yeah.
right?
So what about like bands that you were in, or your musical background, anything like that?
Well, my musical background was, for lack of a better term, laid back. I didn't really have any, what do you call it, roles in my family, right? There was no...
But you started out as a drummer, right?
Yeah, I kind of started out as a drummer, mostly because that's what I kind of wanted to do as a kid,
Yeah.
right? You know, I'd be playing like tin cans in the backyard
Yeah.
where I lived and stuff like that, you know, with these chopsticks.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So anyways, it was cool, right? And I wanted to be a drummer, kind of thing, right? And my older brother, he played drums in band in school, and he got a drum set.
Right.
You know, I just happened to be on it more often than him. You know, and my oldest sister, the one that was into Bobby Darin and all that kind of stuff, like she had an acoustic guitar, but she never played it. I started playing it. You know, and when I first learned, I put it on my lap and I did it like Jeff Healey, like this, right?
Yeah.
You know, because no one was there to teach me.
Right.
Right? And the other thing is, which a lot of people think is odd, is I'm a lefty. I'm totally a lefty, but I grabbed the guitar and I played it right-handed.
Yeah.
So that's how I play right-handed. So my other sister, the hippie one, she got an electric guitar, and she got an amp. Here, I got the amp right here, as a matter of fact. Way back in 1971, right here, right? Anyways, I got that, and the guitar was a Les Paul copy by a company called Emperador. I don't know if a lot of people have heard it. It's a real cheap guitar. I mean, like the bridge was a sliding bridge. It didn't screw down or anything like that, right? You know, it was a bolt-on neck. You know, but it was what I learned my chops on. You know what I mean? I listened to a lot of, like, you know, I think the first guitar riff, if you could call it a riff, it wasn't really a riff, it was just a chord progression. Evil Ways by Santana. It's just two notes.
Right.
And I didn't really learn the chords, I just went do 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 do, that was it, right? Kind of thing. I learned that, right? Kind of thing. That was really one of the first things I learned.
Amazing, right? It was an amazing...
Yeah, it was an amazing moment, yeah, you know what I mean? And, you know, so a lot of my style I kind of developed myself. You know, I mean, like I didn't actually go out and take lessons and learn how to play the pentatonic scale, which is a lot of what my style is.
Yeah.
Based on the pentatonic scale. But
you do play outside that. You play around with it.
I play a lot of passing notes, you
Yeah.
know, as my friend used to call it, which I didn't know at the time was that what they would call passing notes. Right? You know, it's because of my influences, right? I mean,
Right.
I listen to a lot of jazz fusion, the Mahavishnu Orchestra, you know, you know.
Great pedigree, great pedigree.
Oh, of course, yeah, John McLaughlin and stuff like that, right? And you know, and then I listened to progressive music, and the one band that I got into that was the progressive band, it was Rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into like Yes and bands like that and Genesis, but Rush was it, right? As far as an influence with regards to the music I enjoyed, and also my playing.
Right.
Right? I mean, Alex Lifeson influenced the way I play. Right? You know, probably another band from the 70s, the era that influenced me was a guitar player in a band called Cheap Trick, Rick Nielsen.
Right, of course.
Right? He didn't play like a lot of rock guitar players, right? I mean, like to me, he played like old school, like, you know, like the guy probably learned on a Telecaster or something playing country. I don't know, right? But the fact of the matter is he did a lot of multi-string things, right? Now, I don't finger pick per se, but I learned a lot of my style from listening to him.
Right.
So a lot of the things that I picked up, I picked up from him, right? So I guess you could say all these things together, right, formed what I play now, how I play now, right? You know, and there's obviously a lot of shredders out there, right?
Right.
I was never a shredder.
Well, he can shred, but yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. But
it's not your influence, really.
No, I mean, like I listen to a lot of Joe Satriani because that guy's awesome, right? Obviously Eddie Van Halen, right? But I mean, like Eddie Van Halen was like out there at the time, so I didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
You know, I just knew he was a great rock guitar player.
Right.
You know, Satriani, yeah, he kind of influenced me with regards to wanting to having an interest in what he was doing, but not so much how I wanted to play like him or how I wanted to learn stuff that he played, right? But more so just how he did it.
Would you describe yourself as a melodic player?
I would describe myself more as a melodic player, yeah.
Oh, indeed. I agree with that. I agree with that. We're just going to take a break, and you're going to see another episode in the future of Russell's time that he was in the band, some of his influence in songwriting. So we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.